Friday, Good Friday, Happy Pesach. What do you call an anesthetized rabbit? Brace yourselves. It's the ether bunny. Here on a quiet holiday, financial markets closed. Interest rates have gradually been ticking up now for almost 3 weeks from the panicked low, which made perfect sense. What doesn't quite make sense, really on the stream of data, rates ought to be higher. The U.S. economy is doing fine. There's nothing in the U.S. data stream that would suggest the Fed is going to cut the overnight cost of money, which is presently 2.5. A 10-year T-note closed this week at 2.56. It really ought to be 265, 270, mortgage rates back closer to 4.75, but they're not. We'll take it. And the mystery, it's possible that rates stopped going up this week because Kim Jong-un began to rattle missiles again. That's the kind of thing that would do it. The newest data out of China was actually better, although everybody knows it's fake. So, and the Mueller report, every bond trader assumes that every politician is worthless. And so generically pay no attention to politics, unless it has something specific to do with markets. There's nothing surprising in the Mueller report, really, although it's a different report than the Attorney General described 2 weeks ago. Not completely, but a lot. The part of the report that's unsettling to financial markets is competence. Markets don't much care about parties or policies or people, but competence does matter. And if competence generically is missing, maybe that causes some people to buy some bonds. But anyway, it's nice to be as low as we are. Keep an eye on the Trump administration this week announced a brand new and urgent effort to reform Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. When the when the right side talks about reforming Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they mean attempting to privatize them, even though they don't know what privatizing would mean. And if they succeed, which I doubt, they're going to wind up, as only the right side would, making credit much more expensive for marginal buyers, or for any buyers really except the very strong. The left, of course, when it accomplishes reform, makes sure that someone else pays for whatever the mistakes are. So my hope is that this newest effort just dies. Fannie and Freddie have been in a conservatorship and basically owned by the Treasury since 2008, and they've functioned beautifully. There is no possible alternate to the current situation which will do anything except increase borrower costs, which raises the question from the back of the room, what about taxpayer bailouts? I am a taxpayer. I have compassion for taxpayers. But in the fullness of the world, there isn't anybody else out there to execute a bailout except taxpayers. And since Fannie and Freddie presently guarantee 2/3 of America's mortgages, about $6 trillion, the primary beneficiary of Fannie and Freddie is the taxpayer. There's nothing wrong with taxpayers occasionally bailing themselves out. It's objectionable if we're bailing out somebody else, but to have a public utility like the banking system, which episodically needs some taxpayer assistance, is perfectly normal. It's not a good idea to make my audience angry on the Friday before Easter, but there it is. And have a great weekend.